Dirty, dirty lines.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be doing a really highly requested video. This is probably one of the most highly requested videos on my channel. So as you can guess from the title, yes, I used to be a trainee. I will talk about my company and everything else later on. I've been putting off doing this video for 8 months because I promised you guys 8 months ago that I would do this video, but I didn't because there are just a lot of things that I'm not allowed to say, a lot of things that are confidential, and I was told specifically when I left the company that I wasn't allowed to publicize anything online. So I'm doing this, but I will not be mentioning any names or anything that might get my channel taken from me. So yeah, so this is going to be like a story time video. So I'm going to talk about my audition first, and then I will talk about what training was like for me. 2 years of training, by the way. So now it's been a really long time, but I still remember every single thing that happened because it was just super embarrassing. And my audition was the longest one. So I will be talking about the audition that was actually successful. But before I had my successful audition, I had a lot. I think about 10 or 15 auditions. It was just crap, right? I wasn't successful at all. But today I will only be talking about my successful audition experience. So when I first auditioned, everyone else was auditioning to become an idol or a singer. I was the odd one out because I was actually auditioning to become an actress because I love acting, and I actually took acting classes when I was younger, and I just like it to be able to live your life as someone else. So I don't know, I just really like acting. But even if you're auditioning for acting or if you want to become an MC, you still have to go through the same audition process. So I just went in. It was quite a big audition. I don't exactly remember which one I went, but it was quite a big audition. It was one of the top 3 big entertainment companies in Korea, and the audition was held over 2 days, so day 1 and day 2. There were over 2,000 participants. So the first 1,000 people were on the first day, and I was on the second day. I was number 2,637. So that was my number. I actually still have that little sticker. When I first went to the audition, I saw this lady right there, and she was passing out these white forms. So I took the form, and you have to write down your name. It's basically a registration form. So you have to write down your name and wait, let me see. I think I have it here. The things that you're auditioning for. Are you auditioning to be an MC or kasu, singer, your weight and your height, your email address, your date of birth, really basic stuff about yourself. And then I had to go and wait in the waiting room. And the waiting room is just a really big room. It's kind of like the one that you guys see on Britain's Got Talent, except that it doesn't have chairs. So everyone sits on the floor in rows of 10 according to their numbers. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and I was number, like I said, 2,637. So I had to wait 6 hours for my audition. So I was just sitting there drinking water, practicing. People were just practicing, dancing, singing and stuff. And then the row in front of me stood up and went into the audition room. That was when I started to feel like, oh my goodness, it's happening. I started to feel really nervous. I was like, oh, and I was shaking. My heart was like beating so fast. But then it happened, alright? It was time for my row to go into the room. When I went in, it's really hard to describe this, so I'm going to draw it for you guys. Alright, so this is the audition room. That's the door right there. When you come in, there's going to be a yellow line right here at the side of the room, and everyone who comes in just kind of stands there. And there's about 10 people here. 10 people here. And right over here, that's where the judge will sit. For me, there was only one judge, so alright, that's the judge right there. And he's gonna have a paper and a pen. And right over here, that's where there's gonna be an X marked on the floor, and that's where you're supposed to stand. And right here, there's going to be a camera. So now that you guys kind of get the idea of what the place looks like, it's a lot easier for me to explain right now. So I was the middle person, right? There were 10 people, and I was just sort of in the middle. The first person at the end of the room will step up first onto the X and start performing. There will be a camera in front of you, just a regular camcorder. You are supposed to look at the judge, but if you are nervous, you can just look straight into the camera. The judge was so strict, alright? He was so strict. The moment I entered the room, it was just silence. It was so quiet. You can hear my heart beating. And then the first girl went, she sang some song, and before she even got to the part where she wanted to sing, the judge went, stop, next. And then the second person went, stop, next, stop, next, stop, next. And I was just so scared because every single person that went up got stopped before they even had the chance to showcase their talents. So I was just really scared. I'm gonna die, you know? I'm never gonna make it. I'm never gonna make it. While I was panicking, the guy beside me went, and I was next, alright? So the guy beside me went, and he stood on the X, and he sang, I still remember the song he sang. He sang I'm Yours by Jason Mraz. He was so good. He was the first person that the judge didn't stop, and the judge just kind of let him finish all the way until the end. And so he just came back and he stood beside me. And then it was my turn, alright? So I walked up and stood on that little X sign, and I looked at the judge, and the judge was like, So I was auditioning for acting, right? So I did my lines, you know, which I thought was alright. And then the judge stopped me. So I was just confused because normally he'd say stop, next. But for me, he didn't say next. So I didn't know what to do. I was just standing there looking so stupid. And the judge said, we're looking for singers. Can you sing? I sang. I didn't prepare a song. I said first song that came into my mind was A Whole New World, and then I just started singing. I was singing the chorus, the first sentence of the chorus. A whole new world. Stop, he said, and I was like, ugh. He wrote something down in the paper. He looked at his assistant beside him. He wrote something again on the paper, and then he looked at me and he said, "Can you dance?" Like I said, I didn't prepare anything, so I was just like, I was so overwhelmed with everything, and everyone else was also staring at me because my audition took the longest. And then he asked me if I had any song prepared, because normally you usually have a CD prepared, but I didn't because I came for acting. I told him that I didn't have a CD prepared. So that's the judge, right? There's a woman right here. She's the one that's going to play some radio, like a DJ. So I was just standing there looking like a complete idiot. He looked at the woman beside him. I don't know, he whispered something to her, and then she started fidgeting with the CD player, and then she played a song, and it was a really classic dance song, Florida Low. I grooved to the beat. I did a little bit of pop in here and there. It was good enough, basically. So my dancing is a lot stronger than my singing, so I was pretty comfortable with dancing, freestyle as well. So I was dancing and dancing, and then the music stopped. And then he looked at me really sternly. He wrote something down, he looked at me again, and he wrote something down on the paper. After he was finished writing all that down, he looked at me again and he said, "Come here." So I walked up to him and he told me to write my name down. So I wrote my name both in English and in Korean. And then after that, he gave me a yellow piece of paper. It was sort of like a pass, and he ushered me to a separate room. At that point, I was just like, I think I made it, but I'm not too sure. So I was just looking at my friend who was supposed to audition after me, and I was just like, what's going on? And she's like, he ushered me to a separate room. That room was a lot bigger and a lot more quiet. There were about 4 judges there, 3 other girls with the same yellow pass, and 1 boy. And over there, they were testing you on your expressions and also how you modeled and walk. So there's like tapes on the floor, and you have to walk, like catwalk down. That was easy for me. I've done that before. Doing the expression thing was also really easy for me. Like I said before, I've taken acting classes, and I really enjoy acting. So that was really easy for me. All of us passed except for one of the girls. I'm not too sure, but she was very pretty, by the way. I think she can be a model. So that girl who failed, she left the room, and then the judges came to talk to us, and they stood us up in front of the camera like that, and the woman went, 45 degrees please, and then you gotta turn, face the front, turn, stuff like that. Everything was also done in Korean, by the way. So yeah, just turn, face the front, turn, face the front, smile, don't smile. And then after that, I'm not too sure what happened, but I was given a contract, and we proceeded to talking about what kind of contract we want. It wasn't on the same day, it was like separately. They gave us a contract. I don't really remember what contracts they have, but I think there was a 2-year contract, 7-year contract, and a 12-year one. But I signed up for the 2-year contract, and then I started training. I was in 2 entertainment companies. Like I said before, I can't tell you guys which company I was in, but I will tell you guys the companies that I auditioned for. The companies that I auditioned for were SM Entertainment, JYP Entertainment, Cube Entertainment, Low End Entertainment, and FNC Entertainment. So I was in 2 of these companies. So I was training in my first company until they decided to have a switch of trainees. They do this thing a lot where they transfer trainees around, and I got transferred to a more strict entertainment. My first company was really nice. They were strict, but they were not that strict as my second company. My second company was so strict. So in my first company, most of the trainees were girls. Really nice. The boss was really nice. Strict, but really nice. Kind of like a grandpa. I've seen a lot of ex-trainees when they quit, they have a lot of conflict with the company or bad things to say. I don't really have a lot of bad things that happened to me in the company. Even until now, I am still close. The people working in the company, some of the trainees in the company as well, we are still friends. One of my trainee friends just debuted as a solo artist, so if you guys want to check him out, I'll link him down below. His name is James Mello. He's from a relatively smaller entertainment company called Solom Entertainment. I was not in that company, by the way. My company is quite big and very strict. I was not allowed to have phones, so every time I go for training, I have to put my phone in a basket, and they refer to all the trainees with code names or code numbers along with your name. So trainee number 1, Songa. Trainee number 2, Chongin. And was the training difficult? For me personally, not really. I don't think the training was difficult. Alright, I think it is tolerable. The only difficult part for me was having to wake up really early in the morning to start training. The workout and the exercise was not very difficult for me because I'm a very athletic person. I used to work out every single day, and my workout can be quite intensive. I'm naturally quite skinny, as you guys can see, so I didn't need to diet that much. I still had to, but it wasn't the worst. In bigger companies, the trainees are usually put into groups. There was a girl who was not in my group, and in Korean standards, she was quite chubby. I don't think she's chubby at all. She looked quite nice, but Korean girls, especially the trainees, some of the trainees are really skinny, alright, and they would bully the chubby girl quite a lot. I've seen it happen, but I couldn't do anything about it because I have to proceed on with my training. So I took vocal lessons, dance classes, and acting classes. I didn't have to take language classes because I speak Korean. And during my training days, I got to meet a lot of friends that I'm still really close until today. In my first company, they focused a lot on dance, so we danced a lot. I lost a lot of weight. I was really toned. My skin was glowing, alright, glowing without any makeup. I had no makeup on. My second company focused a lot on physical appearance, not just your face but your body as well. Even the exercises that we do, it's not to keep you healthy, it's more to shape your body in a certain way so that it looks better, so it looks more aesthetically pleasing. I did, however, get more exposure in my second company because it was a lot bigger, and you will see stars coming in and out of the company sometimes. Some of them are not as glamorous in real life, alright? We're all humans, alright? Some of them just look like normal people, and some of them, the more cheeky ones, would actually come down to the training room sometimes, and they would talk to the trainees. Some of them were actually kind enough to buy us drinks. I was actually pretty close to this one guy member from a boy band because he spoke English, and I was the only trainee back then to have English as my native language, and no one else spoke English. Everybody else spoke Korean or Japanese. So whenever he would come down to the training room, he would always he'd talk to everyone, of course, but we clicked along quite well because he's a lot more comfortable with speaking in English, and we just talk about stuff, just really casual talk. Yeah, why did I leave the company? Alright, so I wanted to be an actress, right? So in my first company, they were training for me to become an actress, and then I would get known for singing or known for dancing or also be in a group somehow. But in my second company, when they transferred, after they did the whole trainee transferring thing, I was transferred to a more strict company, and they wanted to put me as a visual or as a vocalist for this upcoming girl group, which has already debuted, by the way. I was supposed to train for that, but I didn't want that. I wanted to be an actress, and I don't want to be training so hard for something that I'm interested in but I don't really have the passion for. And I actually have tried talking to them. I really want to be an actress. Can you please put me in the acting category? And they said, no, you look good and I think you will fit in with this group type shit. And they wanted me to train for that group. I just didn't want to. I just didn't want to. Also, that upcoming girl group, I just didn't like their style of music, and I don't want to be forced to do something that I don't want to do, even if you give me fame for that. So when they told me to renew my contract with them, I said I didn't want to anymore. So I left the company, but on good terms. So they understood what I wanted, and we are still close friends. I'm still really close with the person who manages all the trainees. I'm still really close to my vocal teacher, some of the trainees inside, and some of my summer base as well. So yeah, that was my training experience. If you're wondering about plastic surgery, because I mean, I know some of you guys might be wondering about that. I haven't had anything done yet. I was supposed to. If I were to renew my contract with them, I would have to get it done the following year. My company, they wouldn't tell you when you're going. They'll just send you there. They were about to do my nose and my jaw because apparently in Korean standards, I have a pretty big face and a very big nose. So yeah, that was my 2 years of K-pop training experience. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, if you guys want me to do more story times as well, leave it in the comment section below, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye!